32 years old and I'm child-free, and there's not a single person on the face of this earth who could ever convince me to have children. Not a single one. I don't care who it is. No amount of reasoning will ever make me think it's a good idea to have children. And it's not because I don't like children. It's precisely because I do. I love children, but I'm not going to bring children into a fallen state. This world and the condition of it is so fucked up. I'm not doing it. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 girls will have experienced some type of sexual abuse. And when it comes to boys, 1 in 13 boys are estimated to experience some kind of sexual abuse. 1 in 4 and 1 in 13. That means that if there's 10 people listening to me right now, half of us who have children, they will experience some kind of sexual abuse. Globally, it gets even worse. According to the World Health Organization, 1 billion children are estimated to experience some kind of physical or sexual abuse. 1 billion. I'm not bringing children into this world. It is so fucked up. There's so many perverts and pedophiles around. I'm not doing it. And I know for a fact that I won't be nearby them every day of their lives. They're going to have to go to school. They're going to have to do their own thing at some point somewhere down the line. I won't be there nearby to protect them. No thanks. No. According to U.S. authorities, in the year 2022 alone, more than 550,000 children reported being abused or neglected in one way or another. That is insanity. In that same year, 1,990 children died from neglect and abuse. That number is consistently on the rise, which means it's only getting worse. I'm not doing it. I'm painfully self-aware, and I know how I am as a person. And I know for a fact if my baby boy or my baby girl is not in my sight, I'm going to be tripping. I'm going to be stressed constantly, 24/7. Where are they at? Who are they with? Who's around them? I'm going to be overthinking on steroids. I don't want to live like that, honestly. I'm also an anti-natalist. Anti-natalist philosophy essentially states that it is immoral to bring children into such a fallen world because they're doomed inevitably to experience suffering, pain, and according to statistics, physical and sexual abuse as well. I'm not doing it. I'm not bringing a child into such a fucked up world. And you could say that I'm looking at it negatively. I'm not. I'm looking at it realistically. There's a difference.
I'm sorry, y'all, but the truth is this. As long as you don't have children, you can start your life over and over and over again because you don't have anybody depending on you. Women who don't have kids, I need y'all to shoot for the stars right now. You can move and maneuver through this world how you want. You don't have to stay in one city. You can go live across the world next month. You don't have to stay. Literally live your life so fucking crazy that when you do have kids, you're so calm because you did everything already. You did everything. Do not waste these years of calmness, of waking up with no responsibilities, barely any responsibilities. Don't waste it. Literally go for your life. Go do everything you want to do. Do not let fear stop you if you don't have children. Please go do it. You can talk to any mom and they will probably say, I wish I did more before I had my children. I wish I lived crazier before I had my children. And I'm not saying the women with kids shouldn't shoot for the stars. Yes, you too. You're still valuable. You're still a winner.
Okay, I don't ever want kids myself personally, but my opinion is that if you are poor, if you cannot afford to live on your own, you should not be having kids. If you cannot afford to provide a decent life for your children, you should not be having kids. If you live on your own and you live paycheck to paycheck and can barely survive and you purposely bring a child onto this earth, you are selfish. And I know that ruffles people's feathers all the time, but it makes no sense to bring a child onto this earth whom you can't properly care for. Because me, I don't ever want kids ever, even if I had the financial means to. But if I were to have kids, I would want to be able to provide an incredible life for them. I want them to have the best education possible. I would want them to live in a beautiful house. I would want them to have the best things in the world. Like me right now, I would never even consider having a child, also because I'm really young. But like, and then whenever you have this conversation, you have so many unrealistic people that just don't live in reality, that just need to touch some fucking grass, who will sit there and yell at you for being ableist. Well, yeah, then I am ableist. I don't believe that you should be having kids if you cannot afford to. If you knowingly have 5 kids that you cannot provide for, if you know you are on food stamps and you suddenly decide to have 5 kids, you are an asshole. Because getting out of poverty is one of the hardest things to do. It's one of the hardest things to do.
You know, I'm 30 years old and I still get asked every now and then by people who barely know me why I don't have kids. And the real reason is I don't wanna. But another way to answer this is if I wanted to, I still wouldn't have them because I have a very specific mindset where I don't think I would have a kid until I'm ready to raise it by myself. Where I'm financially, emotionally, and just like ready to raise that child by myself. Because there's a pretty good fucking chance that I'm gonna do all of that by myself. Okay? Men don't be doing shit. Okay? First of all, men don't be staying most of the time. And if they do stay, men don't be doing shit. So until I were ready to do all that shit by myself and had the money to do that by myself in case he leaves, I wouldn't have a baby. And I'm not in that position. And I also don't wanna.
When someone suggests that my whole personality is centered around being child-free, it literally just reminds me the reason why I talk about it again and again. There are so many women and men who feel this pressure of being behind or making this decision is the wrong decision or that they're being judged for choosing to live a life without kids. Myself included, this comment is a huge example of that. If my content makes at least one person feel seen or supported, then it's 100% worth talking about. But it definitely isn't my whole personality. I actually talk quite a lot around travel, solo travel, my life in London, but I feel like a lot of people think this is my whole personality because this topic, whenever I speak about it, is always the one that probably shows up the most. And I'm guessing the reason is because it resonates with so many people. Unlike travel, I feel like it's one of those things that people don't speak about enough or they're scared to speak about because it is still, I would say, considered a taboo subject. What I find actually the most crazy is I would never turn around to a parent and say, your kids are your whole personality just because you show them on your social media all the time. People are simply just sharing what is meaningful to them. And to me, this is meaningful. And clearly to a lot of other people, this is meaningful. And do you know what else is actually meaningful to me is having an identity, having a purpose, not feeling judged, having that connection. And I don't think it's fair to take that away from someone just because the way they live their life doesn't align to the way that you live yours. I also think this whole topic probably just sounds a lot louder than it is because for so many years we have been accustomed to this life of women have children by the time they're 30s and this is just the timeline you have to be on. We are a society that's changing and becoming more open and talking about a different way of life, and how amazing to create so much connection with other people who are thinking the same way. So no, it's not my whole personality, and I refuse to shrink any part of that just because you don't like it.
Life is so ass right now, but not ass enough because at least I don't have kids. At least I don't have kids. Like, my car just broke down. I lost a friend. Bills, working full time. Like, life is not life right now, but praise the Lord, I don't have kids. Like, I really sit back and think to myself, if I had kids right now in this moment, like, I don't even know what I would do. Like, I'm being so serious.
You know what the best thing is about being in your 30s and not having children is, I don't know why I was so tired this morning. So I went to sleep at like maybe 1 a.m. and I woke up at 10 and I still felt so tired. And so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep for like another 10 minutes. And so then I woke up again and it was 11:30. And if I had children, ugh, I could never get anything done. I mean, usually I'm at the gym, I'm doing things, but today I just felt really tired. And I've been going hard in the gym and I have a trip coming up and my body needed to rest. And if I had a child, do you really think I could sleep until 11:30 comfortably? Absolutely not. So let this be your motivation, ladies. If society is pressuring you to have children in your 30s, sleep in.
If you're an independent, child-free by choice woman, you most likely will be triggering people in your life, the ones that are unhappy for the choices that they made. There might be people in your life that chose to have kids and now they're super unhappy and they might be projecting that onto you. That's not okay. It's one thing for you to hold space for them because you care about them, but if they're constantly putting you down for not having kids, for having the life that you have, it's not okay. Your life isn't perfect. As a child-free woman doesn't mean your life doesn't have any issues. There are still issues in your life, but some people might think that you don't, and that's not cool. So I want to make sure that you call out those people in your life. You should not be tolerating that disrespect. You need to make a choice of making space between those people, loving them from far away, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to enjoy your life.
Like, planning for a child does not look like we're going to just make sure our finances are together and we're going to make sure our bodies are right, because a lot of y'all not even doing that. It also doesn't start with you choosing a partner who is just simply okay with having a child and wants to have a child with you. That's not really preparing for a child. Preparing for a child adequately is going to look like you also doing the intangible work. That's the one thing that we often avoid. When I see people up here planning for a child, or just in general in life, observing other couples, these people they might be working out. They might be going to get their numbers checked. The man might be going to get his numbers checked. She might be going to get her fertility checked. They're doing everything. They're waiting to ovulation. Like, they're doing the practical things, but people are rarely ever preparing themselves to be adequate parents psychologically. Are there things going into parenthood that you need to unlearn? Are there things from your childhood that you need to get rid of that are going to prevent you from parenting effectively? What do you need to unlearn? What do you need to wrap your head around? What concepts do you need to be introduced to? Because you don't know what you don't know. And the reality is there's a lot to be learned when it comes to how we navigate relationships and how we navigate ourselves. If you have not met yourself deeply, there's no way that you can raise a child with a sense of awareness and a great sense of self. What are some things that you need to overcome within yourself? What are some demons that you need to conquer before you bring another breath and life force into this reality? What needs to be done on your end? And this has nothing to do with working out. It has nothing to do with preparing your body. All of this is going to be psychological, because that is what ultimately matters. Before anything becomes tangible, it all starts in the mind. That is the work that we should be doing on a mass scale.
I learned something about myself when my friend told me that she envisioned me being like a stylish woman who lived with a man in a townhome and traveled the world. And I was like, oh, but what about kids? And she's like, what about them? Where would they go? Okay.
Hello. So I make TikToks about being child-free by choice, and happy in that decision. And I get a lot of comments on my page about, why am I talking about this? Who cares what your choice is? Nobody cares, etc., etc. So I wanted to address it, and the reason I am continuing to talk about it is I get a lot of hate comments about it, which just tells me that we have a conversation that people who are child-free by choice don't have as big of a community as, parents or moms out there, and we want one and we deserve one. I also do it to show that, women who maybe can't have kids have a place to come that shows that being child-free is fabulous, that we have a wonderful life, and it's not the end of the world if you can't have babies. So that's my reasoning for doing it. I hope you're here to stay. I hope you get some inspiration, and I hope that we can create a community. Bye.
Tell me why, as someone who's child-free by choice, I'm sitting here on the couch enjoying the afternoon sun, and all of a sudden I hear this aggravating voice in my head being like, what if you were just holding your baby right now? Sorry, or what?